All right, week 9, laying out the home page. We're going to be laying out, I'm just going to do a brief refresher of what we've got done so far. Our page should look something like this, where the things are on the left side of the page, except for section 3. And you should have added font family for some Google fonts. You have given line height and font size, perhaps font weight or font style. One thing that I did forget to do in the navigation last time, I'm going to do real quick. It was in the green box, but I forgot to bring it up, is up here in your navigation. In Nav A, I want to get rid of the dot, and I want to get rid of the underline for these. So get rid of the dot by in Nav A, go text decoration, none. And in Nav LI, we're going to go list style type. None. And you go back and look at it, and you'll see that both of those factors are now not there. These are still links. They still work properly. All right, so we've reviewed. Your page should look something like this. And it says to notice how each section and the footer have a left and right column, which we did in the HTML. And in week 7, you set a width of them at 48%, and that's up here. Left column, right column, 48% width. And now all we have to do is get them to lay horizontally, and we're going to use Flexbox to do our layout. So we're not going to lay out the navigation. That's going to be in week 10. But what we will be laying out is the page sections and the footer so that they lay next to each other, one on the left, one on the right, like you've been wanting to do the whole time. All right, so to do that, we're going to write this. We have to tell it that we're going to do a display flex. So we're going to do this line right here, and rather than type it all out, I'm just going to copy it off the instructions. And that's going to go down here with the sections on mine. And we're telling it that we're going to use display flex for those. How about that? One little thing and it's displaying them flex. Pretty cool, huh? And next, it says you should see an immediate change once you make your first section flex. That's what we do so far. Now, those defaults are set up with flex flow properties. So we're going to take a moment. You're going to read. There's a couple of things to read on here. And we want this to wrap in case it's bigger, although I've made mine the correct size of font. So now it's saying to add flex to the left and right column. So now we're going to add this flex, and they want us to do flex 1 for now. And notice that kind of changed it a little bit. Not appreciably, but a little bit. We're also going to set the image max width 100. What this does is it helps make our page resizable for different screens. So it's its own thing. Don't stick this in the other one. We're going to go image, IMG. You don't need anything in front of it. And we're going to say the max width of 100%. Now what this does is when you, well, we'll see more in just a minute, but when you shrink your screen for different sizes, it will help shrink them and shrink the text so that it's resizable, like for an iPad or for your tablet or your phone. So your page can be seen on other things besides a computer screen. We're going to use, in order to give it that extra flex, we're going to say where we put flex 1, we're going to add these other two elements instead. So we're going to go back over to here. In the left-right column, and we're going to put, instead of flex 1, we're going to replace that with this. And that's going to give it more ability, and we want to add to our sections, instead of just display flex, we're going to add flex flow row wrap. And that's in our sections. That's not lined up. Don't worry about being lined up in your code right there. And what that does, what we just did is, it allows, well, when we're finished, it's not ready yet. It's getting there. But it makes it line up much better. We're going to align our items and justify the content. So that's going to be added also to our section 1, 2, and footer. And we're going to do one more thing that really helps give your whole page resizability. Up here in content, we're going to go max width. And we don't want it to be bigger than, oh, I don't know why I have 950. I hit a wrong key. 960. We're going to also put max width here. And we have max width down here. Now we go resize. See how it shrinks up our images? It doesn't cover over them, but it allows them to resize so that if we're on a tiny screen, it will keep its integrity just by adding those lines. And that brings us, we're not changing the header, this one. So if you look down here in the green, you're going to position the elements with the exception of the logo using Flexbox, which we did. And the HTML is well formed, which it is. So, but just by changing those two things, our page body part is laid out. So next, week 10, we will be laying out our navigation, and the page will get finished at that point.